I am now live. Now I just have to find Vinnie Tortorich. Let's see, we're going to have a Q&A. We're going to have, hello, Icetron, you're first, baby. Hello, hello, I'm waving to people. Hi, Cheryl. Now we're just waiting for Vinnie Tortorich to join so that I can get him on here. Michelle, hello. I'm waving to you guys. I'm not cooking right now, so I'm able to just like manage. Hey, Eddie. Hey. Good morning, Scott King. Now we need to get Vinnie Tortorich on here. Find him. How do I find him? People have to request to join. I don't think I can add him in, can I? Vinny's here! Yay. So Vinny, hit that little, I think there's a video at the bottom and request to join. Oh, yes! Oh my gosh. Hey, nice to see you. Icetrun, I met you at Chop Shop. That's awesome. Hey, Blonde 111. Find him. Get to the chopper. Do it. I'm here. What are you waiting for, Vinny? It's pretty good. Yeah, I know. He has to request. Vinny, you have to request the video. Since I've never I think it's down at the bottom. Oh, Allison's here. No video. Hey, guys, what do you see at the bottom to request a video? Eddie, request to be on and then tell us how to do it. We've done this before, you guys. We're professionals. Joining from the car on the road to the beach. Cat. Oh, wait, here's Vinny. We got it. We got it. There he is. There we go. Hey, Alicia. Hey, Allison. Hey, Almby. Hit the plus in the video icon. That's what I thought too. He comes. There he is.
Can you see me? Is there a picture of me?
Yes. You look adorable.
I can see the ring lights in my glasses.
Yeah, I know. I didn't do a ring light. I'm by some natural lighting, so.
Yeah. All right. Can you hear me and everything?
Yeah, we can hear you. You guys start putting there's at the bottom right, there's a little circle with a question mark. It's a little question area. So start putting your questions in there. Hey, Emilio. This is really fun because there's a lot of people here. We've got 63 of you mofos here. Somebody's got a question. Oh, Kitty Pup, trying NSNG cholesterol went way up. Lost 13 pounds, but now on statin. Any suggestions? Love you too. We love you.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Anna, the statin person, and now I can't talk medicine, right?
No.
I'm not allowed to, but I'm going to take these glasses off. They're annoying me, so I can't see anything.
That's fine. We just need your wisdom. We don't need your vision.
So the statin person, I'm going to be honest. You can tell me what your total number is. I can't comment on it or whatever.
Yeah, Vinny's not a doctor. This is not medical advice.
Right. But here's what I do know. Because I get phone calls about this. My statins went way up, right? Which
your cholesterol went way up.
Yeah, my cholesterol went way up. And there is no such thing as high cholesterol. It just doesn't exist. There are people out there with cholesterol total numbers of 600. They will never die of a heart attack. There are people out there with total numbers, of 120. They will drop dead of a heart attack. There's no correlation between them.
We don't know.
So doctors will go, they'll just say automatically, oh, you have high cholesterol, you need to be on the statin. Did they check any of the particles? Did they do any of that? And if they didn't, I can recommend you to several doctors who will check that for you. Dr. Avadia, Philip Avadia down in Florida. He's a traveling cardiologist. He can look at these numbers and tell you the truth. There is some cholesterol that can harm you if your ApoC is thrown off or something. Again, I can't talk about the particulars. That's why I'm staying vague.
Yeah. Fine. Get a second opinion is what you're saying.
A second and a third. And Avadia is a good doctor you could talk to. Eric Westman is a good doctor. Dr. Mark Cucuzella. These are guys that are telling people the truth about statins and cholesterol.
Spell the Cucuzella. What's that one? Spell that one.
Which one?
Cucuzella.
You want me to spell Cucuzella?
Well, does it
Are you on
what
fucking
is that?
crack?
Did I say it right? I don't even know
Yeah.
who that is.
Yeah, Mark Cucuzella. He's been on my show before. He will be on my show again.
Okay, great.
But Mark, he's one of these doctors that will say the CAC score, the CAC score, has more to do with whether you are in danger of a heart attack than anything else. There are scores you can look at. Just looking at a cholesterol number is not that score. It's just not.
Yeah,
And,
it's time. I got a calcium score test 5 years ago, and I just got ordered another one. I got to go do it. The CAC score, it's super easy. You just lay down, and then it goes scan, and then it tells you what your buildup is in your major arteries if you have any. 5 years ago, my score was 0, so I'm very curious to see.
the last doctor I went to, I've told this story on the podcast. My total cholesterol was like right at or right below, I can't remember, 200. And it was like 190 something, I think. I can't remember what it was. And she goes, you have high cholesterol. You need to go on a statin. And I said, really? I said, first off, this was a general doctor I went to.
Right.
First off, no one told me I was taking a cholesterol test when you took my blood. Therefore, I wasn't fasted. So you didn't get a correct cholesterol number to begin with. Number two, did you check my LDLs versus my HDLs and look at the ratios? Because I have, and they're perfectly normal. And she goes, yeah, they are normal, but your total is high. I said, did you look at my triglycerides? They happen to be 35. And that's
Right.
a bigger implication of whether you're going to have heart disease. People with triglycerides in the 300 and 400 range, those are the people that are going to have problems. And she goes, yeah, your triglycerides were fine. It's like, so tell me again, why are you offering me a statin? And she fired me as a client. And I said, look, doc, you didn't have to fire me. You were already fired. So
I fired you first. I broke up with you first.
yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm leaving. I'm going to find a doctor that kind of knows what the fuck they're talking about.
Right.
Because I don't need, a general care doctor that's going to, the first time I walks in, oh, you need to be on a statin. When clearly my CAC score is 0. I have no plaque, no nothing. I went there at 58 years old, 59 now. Clearly, I don't have a problem.
Right.
Of any sort. Yet this person was going to put me on a drug that will cause other problems.
Right.
And not fix the fictitious problem I didn't have.
Right.
That's all I'm going to say on that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go off.
That's all right. I just want to read a couple comments here, and then we're going to get to another question. Grim says, so glad I found you guys 4 months into NSNG and down 46 pounds. You both are the best. Grim, you're the best. That's awesome. Lauren Cosilvi, I think she wins some kind of prize because she commented, paused your podcast to watch you live. Thank you.
I don't know how I feel about that.
But make sure you go back to the podcast.
Yeah.
Click through the Amazon banner. All that.
Yeah.
S. Kogan Kitchen says, love you guys. Our restaurant cooks with tallow instead of canola oil because of you guys. Beautiful.
Nice.
That's amazing. We love that. Okay, I'm gonna get to another question. I'm also scrolling through chat and trying to manage this whole thing. Everybody's asking really good questions, but I think this is a fun transition. The Yum Yum Foodie, my friend Eddie asks, what's the best way to read the label of a quote keto product?
Oh, I have the answer. If it says keto on the front of the package, don't buy it. Don't even read the package. Once you see keto on it, there is, even if it says certified keto, because there's no government oversight commission that's certifying anything keto, doesn't exist. Just like when you see certified vegan, it's someone who deemed themselves worthy of certifying other vegans. Same deal. Number two, you can literally take a bowl of sugar, sell it, wrap it up, or bag of sugar, put keto sugar on the front.
Yeah.
You can actually put certified keto sugar
They're,
and sell it.
They're putting keto flour. King Arthur flour has a thing called keto flour, and it's the first ingredient is wheat gluten.
There you go.
And I think I guess if you really want to get into you know, semantics, you can be like, yeah, it's keto if you have less than 20 grams of that and no other carbs the rest of the day. Okay. But is it making you sick? Is it giving you inflammation? Is it just because it's labeled keto doesn't necessarily mean it's good for you? And I would say, if you're like, oh, it's a keto cracker or a keto cookie or a keto whatever, if you're going to buy that, I would say stop yourself and go, hold on. I'm buying a cracker or a cookie because I'm having a craving for the thing. You know what I mean? And that's probably more the issue, because if you pick it up and you look at it, it's going to have something in there that's going to.
And by the way, whenever they do the keto math,
yeah,
another thing to look for on the front of the package, since this person wants to learn how to read the packages, if it says net carbs on the front, they've already done tomfoolery.
right.
So turn it over. It might say, 40 carbs, total carbs, but we somehow magically subtract for fiber. So we'll subtract, 30 grams of fiber. So we'll just magically subtract that. I don't know how that math came about, but in the past couple of years, they decided that if we put fiber in here, we can subtract that from total carbs, which is complete, just utter bullshit, for lack of any other term.
Bill put in the chat, is this Ben Bakicchio? Is he the one who does, he's a doctor. Who's the one who does the workouts to failure? I have his book. I read it. It's like Smart Fitness.
I don't know. That might be
the 15 to 20 minute failure lifting workouts.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It is Dr. Ben Bakicchio, Allison says. Okay, it is him. Ben, Dr. Ben.
Let me answer both. Let me answer those few questions. Ben Bakicchio is one of the guys that recommends one set to failure.
Right.
Yes. Ted Naiman is also a doctor who recommends that, but Ted Naiman's a doctor, not a workout guy. And also Fred Hahn, who I've had on the show. Fred Hahn has written a book. I could probably look it up on my computer while we're doing this. What was the name of that book, Anna?
I don't remember. It's in my Kindle. If I were to get out of this app, it'll freeze the video.
Well,
it's like, it just.
So the people you want to pay attention to, in my opinion, when it comes to one set to failure, is Fred Hahn and Ben Bakicchio. They're both saying pretty close to the same thing. I'm okay with one set to failure. Nothing wrong with it. I've actually done it. I still do it when I have a short period of time and I want to get my weight workout in. I'll do one set to failure. I could be in and out. If I'm doing a body group, I'm done in 10 minutes. If I'm doing back, I'm done in 10 minutes. I'll do one set of pull-ups to failure. I'll do one set of rowing to failure. I'll do a set of pullovers to failure, and done. 7 to 10 minutes. If I'm doing a complete upper body workout, 12 to 20, maybe 17 or 18 minutes. I have trouble doing legs to failure because I like to do a lot of warming up because of my back.
Right.
I have bad back at this age, but I'm still able to do it if I wanted to. But I only do it when I have to. I still like doing the old style warm-up set, set almost to failure, then 1 or 2 sets, grinding it out, and then moving on.
Great. So you guys, I'm trying to scroll through the chat and look at the questions. If you'll put your questions over in the little questions box, that's awesome. And since we're talking about lifting, Emilio, who I love, Emilio asks, soreness, sorry, I have to put on the glasses. Soreness after working out, should it be a goal? Is that bro science or is that bro science? Tips on recovering from soreness.
After you get past the initial phase where you're going to have what the kids today call DOMS. You know what DOMS is, Anna? They like to use acronyms for everything.
Like sub-DOMS, like
DOMS is delayed.
DSM.
Delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS.
Oh.
So the kids today, I have the DOMS. Okay, yeah. 2 days after, when you first start working a muscle, you got to get that. The next time you go in, you're going to still be sore, but less sore. You should feel some tightness in the area where you have to stretch out the next morning. But you shouldn't feel crazy soreness every time. After you start training the muscle and it gets in shape, Otherwise, you'd just be walking around sore all the time. Is that the goal? The idea here is to have a good life, good quality of life, feel good. And you want to walk around sore all the time? You're going to kill yourself every time? You're not going to build your body up that way. You're going to break it down.
Yeah.
So you want to get a good solid workout, but after the first several workouts on the same muscle, within a week or two, the soreness is going to subside. Yeah, you're going to have a little tightness the next day. You're going to feel some soreness, but not that debilitating soreness like you did right at the beginning.
Great. Thank you. Amy Lou says, love you guys, my favorite podcast. And Vinnie, I've watched all 3 of your movies and tell everyone to watch them to get educated. That's awesome. And
Who
then
named
also
their kid Amy Lou? Shouldn't it be like Mary Lou?
no, it's Amy Lou. It's
Amy.
it's a distinct, different Lou.
Is it Lou?
Yeah.
One word? I
So,
don't think I've heard that name before.
so going along with Amy Lou's comment is Ann Slagle's question. What is the best strategy to get family members to jump on the NSNG train?
Lead by example, period. Lead by example. If you start proselytizing, look, anything I tell Serena to do, I go, honey, you need to do this.
Oh, definitely don't tell your spouse to do anything.
And when Serena tells me, I just went to this thing and you need to do this, guess what? I'm adverse to it. I might quietly go, let me see what she's up to, and I might go look it up on a computer or something, but and then make a decision. But never, ever try to proselytize. It's never worked. It just doesn't. I mean, it's kind of like when they get an alcoholic or a drug addicted person, they go, oh, we're going to do an intervention. Interventions, few and far between do they ever work.
Right.
Usually something snaps in the person. They go, you know what? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I'm just going to go check out an AA meeting.
People have to want things for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. You can't make anyone do anything. Sorry.
And you can't want it strong enough for them to want it.
Right.
Like you can't, it's also not good. And they also feel your energy. Like people, they know when you're like, how daughters and mothers are too. When you're like, oh my God, stop. I know you're thinking it, mom. Just stop. Get off my case, And it's, I think, hard too as a mom, because I was the mom who cooked 3 different dinners for everybody and wanted to make sure everybody had what they wanted. But at the same time, I was like, am I just completely failing my kid by giving in and making her a noodle nugget child? And probably to some extent, yes, I did. But eventually, when she left the house, she had outside influences that she was willing to listen to. Sometimes kids don't want to listen to their moms, and sometimes they do. And if you have one of those kids who's like, my mom's my hero, I do everything she says, then great. But there are a lot of us out there who have not been as successful feeding our kids and influencing our kids. But it does seep in. Now that she's an adult, she is gluten-free and dairy-free and only has her carbs on occasion, and is very conscientious about the way she eats and doesn't do sugar. She even said when she was 16, which I talked about on the podcast years ago, because now she's 23. She even said, she's like, hey, I notice I get breakouts when I eat sugar, so I'm going to stop having candy. And I was like, oh, that's great. Then I have to pretend, you know what I mean? She found it on her own,
Right.
But I have to just trust that some of the message is seeping through without me directly going, hey, your face is breaking out. You better cut down on that sugar, honey. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't do it.
Hey, you're ugly.
Hey.
They don't take kindly to that.
No, don't call them ugly, please. Somebody asks, any advice for overcoming an energy drink addiction?
Cold turkey. It's cold turkey. That you would be shocked at how quickly that addiction will go away. You can substitute with coffee, and you may go, I don't like coffee. Trust me, when you stop with those energy drinks, look, you may have flu symptoms, like we talk about the keto flu and everything. Those things are just not healthy for your heart. They're not healthy for your body. They're horrible for your liver. And God only knows what it's doing to your brain, because those things are full of stimulants, right? Caffeine is about as high a stimulant as you ever want to go. Actually, you know, nicotine's a stimulant. That's not really good for you. And then there's alcohol is actually a stimulant. People don't realize that, but it is. These are things that affect your brain's cells, so you want to stay away. But the quicker you could just say, you know what, I'm going to go a whole day without these, and the next day I'm just going to do it again, and just fill it in with whatever you want. I don't care. I'm telling you, I don't care if you want to smoke cigarettes and eat pie all day long. Do that. I'm not being funny right now. Do whatever you have to do to cut that for the first couple of days, and then worry about your nicotine problem and your and your pie eating problem.
I've got a recipe for tobacco pie on my website. So
yeah, go get that. She calls it the skull pie.
The skull pie. You
Yeah.
chew it and then you spit it out, and then you run in circles and then you poop a lot. That's
Yeah.
the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Monica, my darling, and but all of our darling, Monica says, living your values makes you a lighthouse for those who are ready to see. Love it, love it, love it.
What does she do for a living, right? For Hallmark?
She should. Scott King is here. He says, so true. I have been addicted. It's poison. Do you want to do a quick explanation of zone 2, or do you want to talk about sugar and bacon? Your dealer's choice.
Why does it have to be either or?
We're gonna get to both. I just want to know. By the way, what time is it?
I can't see. So
I can't see the clock either.
Here.
Do you have a?
It's 12:23.
Okay, perfect. We have plenty of time.
Okay.
Zone 2, and also Kat says, getting back into distance running. Have begun training for a fall half marathon. What are good ways to fuel? Could you just give a little zone 2 training / endurance fueling tips, and then we'll get to sugar and bacon, and we have lots of time to get to more things.
Okay, so marathon person, pay attention to this because this all matters to you too. So we have 4 aerobic zones, 1 through 4. So we actually have 5, but we're not going to talk about the 5th one because it's too confusing to even explain it. So zone 1 is up to 69%, 69% of your capacity. And then zone 2 is between 70 and 79% of your aerobic capacity. Zone 3 is between 80 and 89% of your aerobic capacity. And zone 4 is between 90 and 100%. So I'm going to give examples of all 4. If you're just taking a casual walk down the street with your dog, you're doing light housework like changing beds and, you know, mowing the lawn or weeding flowers. That's all examples of you're not going past 69% of your aerobic capacity. As a matter of fact, you're probably staying closer to 45 to 50% of your capacity. So you can do that all day long, no problem. And if you're fat adapted and your body's not living on sugar, you can just never need to dig into your blood sugar. You can just live on fat. All your body will just burn fat in zone 1 all day long. So light work like that is really good, you know, to get your body fat adapted. Well, zone 2 is just like zone 1, except it's elevated, right? So in zone 2, you're 70 to 79%. Not only are you burning all fat and you're still storing your carbohydrates, your blood sugar, but you're also working specifically. So let's say you're on a spinner or on a bicycle outside, you're going to work your quad muscles. You know, you're going to start building up mitochondria, and your heart's going to start building more volume per pump. And you'll notice that at rest in zone 2, when you're resting, you'll notice, oh, my resting heart rate used to be 68. Now it's 55, right? So your heart is not working as hard to keep you going, right? And you start building up the mitochondria and the muscles you're using. If that person that wants to do the marathon, you start building it up in your calves and your hamstrings and what have you, and your hip flexors. And next thing you know, you're a bomb-proof runner, right? Zone 3, you will go, geez, if zone 2 works that good, maybe I should go into zone 3. And some people, you know, we've had people on the podcast that have come in and said, yeah, you know, I like my athletes to do a little training in zone 3 so they can get used to it for the race. I don't agree. And there's a lot of people like me that don't agree. You can do all your training in zone 2, because in zone 3, you start incorporating, you're between 80 and 89%. You start using some blood glycogen along with the fat. So now you're becoming a sugar burner, right? You're still building up mitochondria, but not as efficiently, because your body's always trying to catch up, right? So you're not going to be able to stay in zone 3 as long as you can stay in zone 2. So you're not going to build that efficient body of mitochondria. So zone 2 is where you want to be for all of your aerobic training. You burn the most amount of fat. You become more fat adapted even when you're not exercising, and you build up more mitochondria. Zone 4 is like your balls to the wall. Like you can't even talk. It's like you're huffing and puffing. You can barely keep your saliva in your mouth. That's zone 4. And beyond that, you'll see like cross-country skiers, the pros that race at that level. And you might see like a Lance Armstrong back when he was, trying to get some of these mountain stages at the very end, where it looks like they're smiling because they can't even control their facial expression, so their face freezes up. That's zone 5. You can only stay there for a few seconds.
That sounds awful.
Zone 2, the longer you can stay there, the longer you can build up mitochondria. So you build up volume in time, not in how fast you're going. So you keep it between 70 and 79%, and you just build up your volume as far as making the time longer and longer. That's how you become a better aerobic athlete. We've done this equation 1,000 times on the show. I'll do it right now. So let's say you're 45 years old, right? So we take the number 180 minus your age, and you come up with 135. So 135, but let's say you're fit, right? 135 puts you right in the middle of your zone 2. But if you're fit, we're going to give you 5 more points. So we're going to say 140. So your heartbeat should not go over 140.
To stay in zone 2. Uh-oh.
Sorry, my phone started ringing. Can you see me?
Yeah. So to stay in zone 2, your heartbeat should not go over 140 if you're fit.
45 years old and you're fit. Now, let's
yes,
say
Monica,
you're
let's all
45.
pretend we're 45 years old.
All right, so let's say you're 45 and you're not fit at all. You're a couch potato. Well, 45 from 180 is still 135, but you can drop 5 points to 130. And that would put you at around 75% of your zone 2. So it fluctuates, but that gives you a round in the ballpark figure of where it is.
So before we get to bacon, I want to ask a couple follow-up questions that have come up in the chat. West Covina Joe says, what if you have a higher resting heart rate, say 90? How can I lower it? Oh, wait, that's not a follow-up question. We will get to that, Joe. Hold on. Sorry, I thought that had to do with the zone 2. Monica Ricky says, I struggle when cycling to stay in zone 2. I fight myself because I like to go fast, but doing so takes me up into zone 3 or sometimes zone 4 on sprints. So what do you say to that, Vin? Because sometimes it is fun to push it hard.
I'll say, Monica, you have to have discipline. Just like you had, I know who Monica is. She had very good discipline to lose the weight and to get into very good shape. This is a discipline thing like everything else. Look, when I was on my rowing machine an hour ago, and it's easy to want to start yanking that thing and seeing different numbers, right? Just seeing, oh, if I just go up a little higher. But I always have that. It's drip drawing right now, right behind me there. My strap. It's you keep that strap on, and that strap is on you for a reason. It's like it's keeping me honest, right? I do it on my rowing machine. I do it on my spinner. And Monica, think of it this way: Mark Allen is the greatest aerobic athlete of all time. And the great Mark Allen's been on my show 3 times. And even Mark Allen said that there were times when he was training for Ironman. Now, you got to remember, this guy won 7 Ironman championships. Okay, ESPN, the greatest aerobic athlete of our time. I tend to agree. And he said there were times when he would train on his bike where he would get off of the bike and walk it up the hill because he was going out of zone 2. And when you saw this guy in Florida, when you saw this guy on the Queen K out in Kona doing the Ironmans, it looked like he was sucking all the oxygen off of that island. I mean, the guy was an unbelievable athlete. He did it all in zone 2. So unless you think you're better than Mark Allen, stick with it.
Okay, noted. But okay, so then getting to first of all, the real fireman Dan says this is great info on the cardio zones. I also love the Instagram shorts. NSNG has changed my life. That's awesome. We love that. So West Covina Joe asking about how to lower his resting heart rate. Wouldn't zone 2 training lower your resting heart rate? Or am I faulty in saying that?
My concern, Covina, is 90 is pretty high for a resting heart rate. And I'm wondering if there's not, do we know Covina Joe's age?
No.
Can you write it and let us know?
Yeah, Joe can write it in. Blake says, been doing zone 2 since last October, have reduced my resting almost 10 beats. It works.
Yeah. If you're at 90, you're pretty much out of shape.
50. West Covina Joe is 50.
Yeah.
And thank you, Monica, for the follow-up comments. Yes.
And Joe, another question, because I'm interested in Joe now. Are you a couch potato, or did you have any kind of heart issues or anything?
Great question. Joe, put it in a comment.
Got all the time in the world, Joe.
Monica says, yes, that's it. I have to watch my watch to monitor my heart rate and trust the process. Some rides I just need to do for fun and balls to the wall, and other rides specifically for zone 2 only. That's great. Joe says couch potato with managed hypertension. Yeah.
So I'm gonna guess hypertension and also some high blood pressure.
Right.
Joe, you need to crawl before you walk. And I've been in West Covina in August. It ain't a pretty sight when you go outside.
It's hot.
It's hot. It's just hot as hell. He's out in the desert. I would suggest, if you can, join a gym, the cheapest gym you can find that has a treadmill, where it's air conditioned, or if you want to purchase a treadmill, keep it in air conditioning. You don't want to be out in that heat, Joe. Not for you. Not for you. It's folks, if you're wondering, Joe lives in a desert, and it's probably 105 degrees on most days right now.
Yeah.
So you need to be in a cool place. You need a lot of water. You need electrolytes, and you need to start walking slowly. I would suggest you buy a heart rate monitor, the cheapest one, or if you belong to a gym, most treadmills come with a strap. They just don't put them out there, or that you can hold the handles. Those handles.
Yeah, do your fingers on the handles.
Yeah. But get in there, and you might go, oh, gym is not in my budget. Make it in your budget. I can't tell you how the only way you're going to start beating this is to start slowly getting into shape. If you have hypertension, high blood pressure, and your heartbeat is at 90 resting, I would go and clear it with your doctor first. I'm going to repeat that. Joe from West Covina, clear it with your doctor first, because I'm guessing you might be on medications and that kind of deal.
Yeah.
So,
well, he said managed hypertension, which infers medication for sure. Cook from NOLA says, after a couple months of consistent zone 2, my resting heart rate at age 46 is typically around 54 to 58. Blood pressure 99 over 59 was pre-hypertensive. That's cool.
You know what NOLA stands for, right?
New Orleans.
New Orleans, Louisiana.
Oh, yeah, you down there in New Orleans.
That's right.
Okay. Cook from NOLA says, thanks to you guys for all you do. Love y'all. Love you too. Road Source says, hey guys, big fan. West Covina Joe says, that was helpful. Thank you. Triple hearts. You got triple hearts, Vinny.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Foxy Hoxie. She writes, can we talk sugar and bacon and sausage, salt before sugar? Yes, we can. We get asked that question quite a bit, because I don't think people know that when you cure bacon, you pack it in a mixture of salt and often sugar, or dextrose is a cheap sugar that they use to cure bacon, then put the little smoky flavor and get the curing going, right? Trishy Photos is here too. She probably knows even more about that. She's a food expert. And what you want to look for is bacon that has salt before the ingredient sugar. Now, what happens is they take all that stuff off and then they slice the bacon and they sell it to us. So if you're buying like a maple bacon or something like that, they are adding more sugar to it. But generally, it's not like a sugar-filled bacon. If it says applewood smoked, hickory smoked bacon, and it still has the sugar on the ingredient, if it's after the word salt, it's used in the curing process. They're not going to be in the actual bacon, if that makes sense. And that's why they can say 0 grams of carbs. I know we don't check carb grams, but that's just kind of a simple thing to look for. Would you agree?
I agree 100%. And
Great.
also, I always tell people, find a butcher that's making their own bacon.
Yeah.
That bacon is so much better than anything you'll get from a package. It's
True.
crazy. Why not? I don't see why anyone buys bacon in the package when it's just as cheap or just as expensive. I'm going to go with that nowadays, because we can't go to a grocery store without, just for a little knick-knack pickup stuff, it's $100. But bacon from the grocery store is, from the butcher is so much better.
Well, and I will say this, sausage is a different animal. Sausage, they put sugar in a lot of sausages, so you just have to read the ingredients and make sure you get a sugar-free one. People are giving suggestions in the chat. Foxy says beef bacon is the best. I just had lamb bacon from my butcher. Awesome.
I agree with Foxy on that.
Yeah.
I like my bacon to come from a pig.
I'm a fan of the pork belly. I'm not gonna lie. I have I did a recipe 2 weeks ago on my Substack, Vinny, that had 4 kinds of pork. It was a keto Cubano sandwich. And so there was pork rinds in the little cheese chaffle for the bread. There's roasted pork tenderloin. There's ham. And then there's salami. Now that is dedication to pork.
Yes, it is.
That is. Okay. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Nothing. I'm good.
Debbie asks, and I'm not quite sure how to answer this because I don't know, I've not heard of this before, but this seems very serious and probably going to be a doctor question. But what to do if someone has endotoxemia, is not able to process fat and protein? That sounds bad, and I'm sorry to hear that someone would be suffering from that. Do you know what endotoxemia is? I've not heard of that.
Again, it's these medical questions that I just can't comment.
Yeah. Okay. Apologies for that. I'm sorry that you're going through that.
Yeah, that's a tough question, and it's they more and more my attorneys tell me just stay away from this stuff. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I don't know what it is, so I can't say, but I'm sorry if anybody's suffering through terrible medical stuff. Yeah. Saudad Hart says, how is Andy feeling now?
Again, I'm not a doctor. No, Andy.
I can't comment on Andy's medical condition. That's a HIPAA violation.
Andy is doing well. It's funny. Andy and one of my brothers got COVID at the same time.
Yeah.
And they both called me on the same day, and Andy was like, I got COVID. And my brother was like, hey, man. I'm like, what are you doing? You sound like you're at home. He goes, yeah, I had to stay home. I got COVID. And 3 days later, Andy is like choking and coughing, got the croup. And I could talk to my brother. What are you doing? I'm just hanging out, just walking around the neighborhood. I'm good. So, man, COVID is a weird thing. Some people get it and they're half dead. Other people get it and they have to stay home until they test non-positive to go back to work. So,
listen,
all the COVID talk I'm going to do for one day.
I don't care how divisive this is, but when I got it, I thought I'm in a pretty good dietary ketosis. I manage my shit and it's still not, and I was vaccinated, it's still knocked me on my ass. So you just never know how it's going to hit you. So if you're getting sick, just take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And please don't make anything political in the things. My body, my choice. Let's see here. Oh, Kat says someone asked earlier about leg exercises to get definition, and I wanted to say to you, Vinny, and I'm going to go back to the question. If you guys could put your questions in the little question box on the bottom right. Vinny, remember a while ago you were making little exercise videos at your Pure Vitamin Club account? Can you start to do those on Vinnie Tortorich? Make those kind of reels because it's fun to see you. Like here's the proper form for a bicep curl. Here's the proper form for a leg thing, and
Yeah,
it's fun when you do those.
it's funny you should bring that up because I'm tired of just doing the motivational things that people seem to like them. You know, they get somewhere between 12 and 15,000 people see them. I'm gonna start doing a little exercise things. I'm gonna start over with a body part. I might start with chest or something, and then do.
Well, here's the thing. People haven't seen them unless they follow Pure Vitamin Club, and it's always good to see. I can't tell you the number of times I've seen an exercise video and I will literally get up and just start doing push-ups. It makes me like super motivated.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing. It's funny you should bring it because I was talking about this with Serena the other night. I was like, "Would you like to come in and hold the camera?" And then Serena, she's like, "Oh, we should do them different." It's like, no, no, no. People don't want fancy. They just want to see what it is. And I got this whole. I don't know if you can see this, but I got this whole gym right here, like behind me over here. Gym equipment all over the place. I could just do, and here's I can show you my whole gym, but I'm not, because there's stuff that might incriminate me over there. So I'm just there.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
It's just a stack of donuts right in the corner.
That's where I keep my croissant table right
This
back.
croissant table. Every good Louisiana fellow's got a croissant table.
You know what? You know why I don't like, you want me to tell you why I don't show my whole room?
Why?
Is I collect weird things that make no sense.
Yeah.
As you know, I collect pipes. They're smoking pipes.
Yeah.
I don't smoke pipes, but I have smoking pipes all around the room. I also collect Zippo lighters. I have Zippo lighters. And people go, why does he have pipes and lighters all over the room? And old snuff cans, that some of them still have snuff in them from 1920. I don't know if you can see behind me, but up on that shelf,
Yeah.
there's a couple of old tobacco cans up there.
Yeah.
You see those cans up there?
Mm-hmm.
It's like tobacco cans.
Oh, I see your cans.
Yeah, I got cans. So I don't know why I collect that stuff, but I do. I'm just a nerd that way. And so I'm scared if I show my whole room, people go, I think he smokes a lot. And there's an old shotgun hanging on the wall. What's that? Yeah, I don't know.
Gran Torino.
Archery stuff.
Somebody's asked a couple times, and I want to make sure we answer this. How do you get your vitamins in the UK? Are they sold there?
We stopped.
That's a bummer.
With COVID and the whole thing, and the people in the UK, we had a lot of fans, and we sold a lot of vitamins there, but it got so difficult just getting the vitamins. Now we're all stoked up again. We have them, but we couldn't get them here and ship them off to the UK. It just became rough. So what we did, we got everything they had ordered. We caught up with everyone. And now if people want vitamins in the UK, they can either do it from Amazon or they can write to us. There's certain ways, and we'll just ship them from the United States. But we don't have a base. We had a base in the UK. We were selling out of, and that went all over Europe. And it just viable for us anymore as a company. So
it's expensive to ship the product. By the way, people write about sauces especially are crazy expensive to ship overseas, but the spices, it's easier, and people just write to us because you can't buy things on the site and have it shipped to Canada or UK or Australia is when I got the request the other day. But like you said, just write to Andy or write to me and ask what it is that you want, and we'll see if we can quote out the shipping. And if you want to pay the shipping, great, and if not, I totally understand.
And unlike you, we do ship to Canada.
Oh, you do? That's good.
We ship to Canada, and I think Mexico, because it's the two countries that touch this country. And we do have some people, we don't advertise it, but I guess I'm getting ready to advertise it. We have people in Australia some pretty big fans, and they will order once or twice a year. They know that they're going to be paying a lot for shipping. They pick up the shipping. People that live in Australia, they're used to that.
I know they are pretty cool about that. I'm always surprised. I'm like, really? You want to pay all that? Okay.
Yeah. I bought
Australia
from a Cobra that they didn't sell in the U.S. and I paid as much for the shipping as the hat cost, but I wanted that hat.
Right.
So yeah, you just have to understand if you're going to deal with Australia, it's not going to be cheap. But
Right.
what people do is they buy a ton of vitamins for them, some of their family members, and a couple of friends, and then all of those people, they
split it, yeah.
And it becomes a viable thing. It's not
smart.
We advertise. The reason I can say it is because not many people are going to do it.
Right.
But we try to help people as best we can.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, Robin Dobbins says hi. I know she can't stay long. Ice Trun says, been using your ranch spice on grilled meat and fish. Hell yeah, it's delicious. Carnivore Doctor, hello, is here. I'm trying to hit the wave. I'm trying to wave at y'all.
I'm a big fan of Carnivore Doctor.
Same.
Yeah. She does these meetups every now and then around Princeton. She's up in New Jersey somewhere. And I know she gets together and does these deals. Big fan of what she's doing.
Couple of ultra salt questions here since we're talking about your vitamins. Foxy says, are your ultra salts in stock? And to Kitty Pup says, I'm sure I've missed the convo on your podcast, but what's the best way to take/use your ultra fat and salts?
Ultra salt is being manufactured right now. This is out today. So I would tell people, get your order in for ultra salt. We'll be shipping in about a week. Sorry, it's been so long since we've had it. You're looking at one of the last bottles I have. I have one more bottle over there for myself. I'm almost out, and I own the company. The best way to take ultra fat, hell, I don't know. Whenever you want to.
I'm going to take one right now. I'll be right back.
I'll tell you how I use them. I just did an hour and something on the rowing machine, for instance. And I ate this morning, I had a couple of nice-sized hamburgers. When I get off of this, it's going to be around 1 o'clock, and I'm going to go to the gym and do legs. I don't have time to eat because I have to do legs and I get back here. So I'm going to probably have one, if not two, of my ultra fats before I go to the gym and drink some water. The ultra salt is different. In the summer, we're dehydrated a lot of the time. Why are you using scissors, Anna?
Because I like a clean break. I don't like that extra thing. And also too, here's what I do, because if I feel the salt up here, if I feel it up here, I go like this to make sure I mix it all around.
Right. But still, why do you need the scissors? Because it cuts.
Watch, I have it figured out. This is how I do it.
Yeah, but Anna,
see, I cut it below the line, and then it's just totally smooth. But first, I do this. Watch.
Yeah, I like to get it. I call it getting it out of the rind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, it's a little extra salt up there.
It's 10 a.m. We're gonna wrap this up in 3 minutes or so, and I have not eaten yet today. I just had my cup of coffee, and I'm gonna have a little ultra fat, and then I'll wait till lunchtime and have something else to eat.
So getting back to the ultra salt, if you're getting ready to exercise and it's going to be hot, for every one of these capsules, for every one of these, right here, can you see that? You want to take about 10 ounces to 12 ounces of this. So if you're going to go out and run and you're going to drink 12, or maybe even 15 ounces, take one of these with it. If you're drinking another 10 or 12 while you're out there running or riding your bike, take another one. And next, when you figure you got another 12 or 15 ounces in you, take another one. When you're done, drink a lot of water and take another one. That's how you use them. Use them when you know you're going to sweat and you're sweating out exactly what's in these. Put it back in. Usually athletes in the summertime, ultra athletes, people that run marathons or whatever, they're always in some stage of dehydration. You go to a doctor and have them pull blood at any point, there will be some dehydration going on in your blood. So you want to stay stoked up as much as possible. Do not take too much ultra salt without taking water, because just like you could get an imbalance if you drink too much water without electrolytes, it also goes the other way. So just make sure that you're doing.
A follow-up comment. Drew says, used a ton of ultra salt during our unusual heat wave up here in Seattle. No cramps. Very cool.
Yeah.
I love the ultra salt. Ultra salt's the best. Ice says, carry it with me on all my runs. Now, I want to say this is another sort of a science question, and I love it. Belgians 19, who I don't know if you're still on, but you have what's that breed of dog? Is it a Belgian Malamute? I don't know.
It's for Belgium, but yeah, it's a Malamute. They look somewhat like, they're mushing dogs. That you use Malamutes to mush.
Our friends have one, and it's the best dog. She's such a good dog. But Belgians 19 says, curious if there's a website that has abstracts or references to back up that validates this way of eating. As a school nurse, it would help support what I'm trying to encourage. And I get that. And I'm going to tell you, Susie DeMeester is in this group. She's in the Facebook group. She's in my Facebook group. She's on the clubhouses. And she is an amazing reference. And if you need an abstract, she will find it. She is a mensch and a doll. And trust me on this. Susie DeMeester, I don't know if she's on Instagram, but she's definitely on Facebook. And by the way, thanks for buying badges, you guys. I didn't know if that feature was even on, but Anne and Lizzie just bought us badges. So bless you. Thank you.
Anna?
Yeah.
Other great resources is if you just read Nina Teicholz's book, she lists a bunch of different studies in that book, and then you can just go those studies and look at it yourself. And I could go on and on and on, but most people just quote. There's a lot of stuff out there you can.
I hope that helps. And by the way, thank you, West Covina Joe, cleared up. Belgian Malinois is what I was thinking of. That's my friend's dog. And it looks like in Belgians 19, that's a Malinois. Alaskan Malamute. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't think the Malamute came from Belgium.
I was conflating breeds. Foxy says Susie is on Instagram. Okay, great. So hold on. Let me just get Trish. We kind of covered the stuff at the beginning, but you probably asked that at the beginning. Trish, the keto dish, says suggestions to increase HDL. I wouldn't even know how to answer that, but do you, Vin?
Yeah, talk to Carnivore doctor. Eat meat.
Eat meat.
That'll do it. Yeah.
And also, I love this one. Alameda Anglers asks, thoughts on cottage cheese?
I think it's delicious. Oh, you mean, yeah. If you could get, look, I talked about this in one of my little things that's coming up on Instagram. I don't know if we put it up yet. I don't think we put it up yet. The bottom line is, yeah, I talked about this yesterday. We haven't put it up yet. We played it on the podcast that's coming out Monday. When it comes to dairy and losing weight, from what best I could tell, there's never been a study on this, and I've talked to Tim Noakes about this in the past, and he agrees there's no study because there's no money to do the study. But from what I could tell from doing this for 40 years, 50% of people can eat common dairy products and lose weight. I'm lucky, I'm one of them. The other 50% can't.
That's me.
And if you ask me, how do you know this? It's like, because I've worked with so many people over the years.
Right.
That, some people can eat cheese every day, just eat high fat and add cheese and cottage cheese and everything else to it, no problemo. And by the way, some of those people get a problem at some point too, where too much dairy, like if they start relying on too much dairy, that will slow weight loss. So there is no cut and dry, one size fits all.
We said in the podcast too, if you want to find out, try to eliminate it and see what happens to your body.
Exactly.
It's a work in progress sort of thing. Thank you, Champagne Beach Life, bought a badge. Emilio, our last question in the question box is, Anna, working on any cool VO projects that you can't talk about right now? Yes.
I'm working on one too. So there.
Oh.
Maybe.
So Vinnie, I've gotten Vinnie to agree on the air that he's going to do more exercise videos from his studio. So no pressure.
No, it's funny because I was like, what else can I do? Because I like doing the teaching thing.
I love the motivational ones.
At 3 o'clock, I have the 13-year-old kid from next door coming down to my dungeon. That sounds weird.
Yeah, it does. Don't say that out loud.
But we're, you know, I'm training him, right? And it's like, I love doing that. And so I was like, I was telling Serena, I'm enjoying training Lil Turner so much that I'm going to start doing those exercises again and just because you're not the first person to ask me that, Anna. People have been asking me for a while, can you put all of these together? So I'm going to go back and do them.
Great. One last question, then we're going to wrap it up. Mad Props Makes says, if I want to enjoy a non-distilled beverage from time to time, is red wine better than beer?
In some cases, yes. Especially, you know, like dry farm wines, and some of these people have really good products. So, and you can find, if it's not dry farm, you can find wines that are pretty dry. There's some white wines that are pretty dry.
Hold on. I'm going to stop you right there. Dry farm wines is bullshit.
Is it?
Yes, because here's the deal, you guys. When winemakers make wine, they don't add sugar to it. The grapes are fruit and they have a certain amount of sugar. Natural fermentation, the yeast process is eating away all those sugars, and what's left is wine. And yes, there are 3 to 4 grams of sugar left per glass of wine. If anybody is a decent winemaker, which most people are these days, unless you're buying like Ernest and Julio Gallo, or I don't even know if they do it, but people are not adding sugar to wines. That's called a fortified wine or a dessert wine. So Dry Farms Wines has said, oh, we source all these dry wines. Wines are dry. Nobody's adding sugar to them. There may be some varietals that are sweeter than others. I would avoid a Riesling, of course. And yes, red wine is going to have fewer carbs than beer, for sure. But I just want you guys to know it's okay to subscribe to the Dry Farm Wines and all those companies, but just know that they're using marketing speak to make you think you're doing something virtuous when you're just having a nice glass of wine. I'm just saying that.
Anna, please understand. I was answering the question. The question was, what's the better of the two?
Agreed. But then you said Dry Farm Wines, and I just wanted to make sure everybody knows that Dry Farm Wines is just doing marketing like everybody else.
Right. I understand that, but I threw their name out, and I also said, find wines that are not sugary. That's just close. And by the way, I'm not telling people that you should do this. The question was, it's kind of like when Adam Carolla hits me with questions. Which one is better? You ask me which one is better. That's what's better.
I agree. I'm not yelling at you. I'm trying to tell people.
I feel like being yelled at.
You're not being yelled at. Oh my God. Are we going to end this on a fight? Let's dance it out.
You know what song that is? It's called Wrap It Up.
Oh, Wrap It Up.
BTO?
Is it Bachman Turner Overdrive? Lauren wants to know, because of course I didn't know that. He's just dancing. He's not listening.
I'm enjoying. I'm rocking out, baby.
Is it Bachman Turner Overdrive?
No, it's the Fabulous Thunderbirds. Stevie Ray Vaughan's brother, Jimmy Vaughn.
Okay.
Died.
Oh.
You know what, Anna? I don't think people know this. But this is the month that Stevie Ray Vaughan died. I'd like to say it was the 27th of August, back in around 19...
What's today? August 5th? Guess who died on August 9th, 1995?
It wasn't Janis Joplin, because she was dead in the 70s. Who?
Jerry Garcia.
Yeah, someone that no one cares about.
A lot of people care about Jerry Garcia.
No one cares about your fat underwear.
Oh, Kat says she found the question button. We'll use it next time. All right. Yes, there will be a next live on Instagram. We'll do it in maybe a couple weeks or so. Right, Vin?
I like doing the Instagrams, man.
It's fun.
I don't know what we get out of it.
We should do this instead of podcasting.
Anna, did anyone actually show up today? How many people are here?
I will know when I hit the off button.
All right, well, you can tell me then.
I will. No, I think these are very popular. People can tune in for a few minutes and then tune out. They can go watch it later. Obviously, I'll save it on the profile. So everybody go and, you know, make good choices. Happy weekend, all that good stuff. And thank you, Vinnie, for spending an hour with us.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you, Anna.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, kidlins.